Hello there and welcome to today's video. So today we're going to be doing a foundation first impression, and then at the end of the video, after I've worn the foundation for a good few days, I'll give you my kind of overall kind of review on it. No shade to anyone out there, but I believe that particularly with foundations, it's really important to kind of thoroughly test them out and to be able to really get the measure of it. I feel like you need to test it out, in the office where there's zero air conditioning. You need to test it out in Tesco where there's probably too much air conditioning, and just, during rampant sex. I mean, no, I'm just joking. But today we're going to be testing out the Peach Perfect foundation from Too Faced. I have been wanting to try this out for like ages, but it's only just been released here in the UK. It has been out in America for quite a few months now, so I feel like you've probably seen many reviews at this point, but it's definitely a foundation and a product that I have just had on my wish list for so long. Just so excited to try it today. It costs £27. It comes in 20 shades. I have the shade Vanilla, and I'm just going to read you out the description and then we're going to just pop it all over my face. This transfer resistant medium coverage foundation creates a smooth canvas for flawless comfortable matte wear using our exclusive Comfort Matte technology. What? Comfort Matte technology that is never cakey or mask like, to give 14 hours for photo friendly wear. Who's taking photos for 14 hours? Smooths for a flawless finish, oil controlling, infused with exclusive Comfort Matte technology. There we go again. It's meant to smell like peach and fig, which to be honest isn't a huge selling point for me, but yeah, I suppose it's better than it smelling like a Trump, you know what I mean? So this is the box that it came in. I got this from Debenhams, which I believe is the only place that you can actually get it from here in the UK. Okay, so it comes in a squeezy tube, which I actually really like. I much prefer a tube to like a bottle, because my history with pumps is not a good one. Like, I find that pumps are like some of the highest maintenance things like in the world. They either work far too well and you're just covered in your foundation, or they just refuse to work and then you're fecked. Okay, so you pull off the cap and then you've got a fecking pump. Just thought it was gonna be like, just like a toothpaste bottle where you just like squeeze it out, but no, it's a fecking pump. The pump is gold, but I feel like it shouldn't be gold. I don't know what a moot point is that, but anyway, I'm going to bring my little stool closer and we can have a little look at the shade of this. So as I said, it is vanilla. It's more liquidy than I expected. Like, I don't know why, but I was expecting it to be more like thicker. Also, just before we get started, if you've not watched any of my videos before, I do have oily skin. I'm 34 now, so I do have pores, fine lines. I have been struggling a bit with like breakouts recently, but I do prefer medium coverage. I don't like a full coverage because I find that it can look kind of cakey. This looks a little bit like darker maybe than what I would really want. I do have a brush and I've got a sponge, so I'm going to be doing, one side with each, and we're going to begin with the sponge. I feel like most of the product is just fucking soaked into my sponge, but anyway, I'm talking way oh my gosh, oh guys, it's looking a little bit, dare I say, orange. Like, what? Oh no. Oh, it's got a nice smell. Like, it smells like peaches, but a very like chemical peaches. Like if a bunch of peaches went to a Chemical Romance gig, and I don't even know where I'm going with that, but anyway, it's spreading pretty well too, which is fabulous because it costs £27. The smell is fairly strong. Like, you can smell it. It's definitely not like subtle, but I don't think it's going to bother me, I hope. But it does smell quite strong. So now that I've kind of applied it to most of this side of my face, I feel like the shade of it isn't too bad, but I definitely feel like I'm hoping it doesn't oxidize, is what I'm feeling. I feel like it might. Like if you compare the foundation to my skin tone, you can definitely see that like the foundation has, I mean, it looks orange, like it does look quite orange, and for vanilla I feel like it's darker than one would expect. Okay, so I've applied the foundation to one half of my face now, and I definitely feel like it is a medium coverage. It's matte, but it's not kind of flat matte. It's definitely got a little bit of like radiance to it. But as I kind of move my face around, you can kind of still see the light slightly kind of, you know, bouncing off my face, which I am liking. I wouldn't say it's kind of like completely smoothed out my pores, but it's not accentuated them. It does look a tad bit like kind of heavy, maybe just around the texture here on my chin, but it's not accentuated fine lines or anything, which I like. I'd say my biggest kind of issue right now is that I think the shade is just a little bit too dark. It's definitely a disappointing vanilla shade, because usually in foundations I just automatically go for vanilla, and vanilla always seems to work for me, but not this time. I mean, definitely not this time. I would definitely say make sure that you check out swatches and things, because Debenhams is the only place I believe that is selling this foundation, and they don't sell it in store, so you have to buy online using online. They're not even swatches, are they? They could at least put swatches online. Like, why did they not do that? But anyway, you just got like the round circle, which gives you nothing. It's just like, what? It's kind of like, are you trying to make this like a challenge right now? But I would definitely like recommend you check out some swatches online, because yeah, don't assume that vanilla will work for you if you have always got vanilla in the past. You know, don't be me. Like, literally, don't be me. So this is kind of making its way just off my hand right now. So I'm going to just catch it, and I'm going to use a brush to do the other side. I definitely like the application with the sponge though. It was like just super quick and easy to apply, and I liked it. You see as well here, I kind of took it down my neck a bit, and again you can definitely see a discrepancy with the shades. You know what's funny, like everyone always says, oh, if your shade doesn't match, just make sure that you bring it down your neck. And it's like, how fucking far do I have to bring it down my neck? Because if you're wearing like a, you know, a low top, you're gonna have to like take it all the way down to your décolleté, because otherwise you're gonna just get your like line there. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, how freaking far do you want me to take it down my neck? I don't have the money to be wasting on my neck. My foundation's for my freaking face. But anyway, guys, I do feel like this is oxidized a bit as well. I'm gonna just pump a little bit more on. See what I mean? That pump's sounding a bit, you know, like it's struggling already. Okay, so I've applied quite a lot to this side, guys. Kind of regretting how liberal I was there, but anyway, I definitely prefer the application with a sponge, predominantly because I didn't really do a good enough job, I'm realizing, of washing my buffing brush. So I feel like the brush is just struggling with life at the moment. So I'm going to just go over this side with a sponge, because it looks fucking awful, to be honest. And it's nothing to do with the foundation. That's just to do with my laziness and the fact that I need to really be more motivated to wash my makeup brushes. I mean, really. Oh, guys, don't you just hate it? Look, I've actually just wasted loads of the foundation. Like, oh, I wish I had like another face that I could just put this on, or maybe like just I should bring it all the way down my neck, but fuck that. Okay, so here we have the full face. I think it looks absolutely beautiful on camera. I know that I have only just applied it, so I feel like maybe it's not 100% kind of set down yet, but it definitely is not as matte as I was expecting, and that's a good thing. I do prefer a more kind of dewy, radiant finish, So I'm kind of quite elated that it's not a flat matte. I feel like flat mattes can look a little bit kind of unforgiving really on textured mature skin, but do you know what, I'm really liking this, and even like the fact that the shade isn't perfect, I do feel like it's not terrible. Like, please feel free to correct me if you think otherwise in the comments, but like, I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, like I can't leave the house like this. I'm still going to be trying this out, but yeah, just please keep in mind that the shades may not be what you would expect. Like, just don't be me. Just don't just think, oh my gosh, I'm always vanilla, I'm just going for vanilla. Don't do that. Okay, so at this point I am just very excited to see which direction this is going to go in. It's Wednesday today, so I'm going to be wearing this definitely to the office Thursday and Friday, and then hopefully by Saturday I'll be in a position to come back and give you my final thoughts. But for now, I really like it. It feels comfortable. I love the finish of it. I just am impressed with it. I enjoyed the application. It was a fun time. And yeah, anyway guys, I am going to go now. It's actually almost 7 o'clock in the evening here, so I'm literally just about to jump in the shower. So I hope you don't mind that I'm not going to, like, you know, finish off my face with a full face of makeup, but I just really wanted to like do this first impression so that I could get started on the actual, you know, properly testing this out. Hello there, so it's now the next day and I just wanted to show you what the foundation looks like with the rest of my makeup on. So I am going to have my makeup on for a really long time today because it's 6:30 in the morning now, and then I am going shopping after work, so I'm probably not going to be removing the makeup until about 7:30 this evening. So it is going to be like a extra long day of wear, so it'll be a really good test to see how it holds up. I will kind of let you know, like I'll give you any updates throughout the day if I feel like there's any that are pertinent. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the look of the foundation with all my other makeup going on. I kind of say that at this point the shade doesn't look like too off. It definitely is a shade or two too deep and too kind of warm for me, but I feel like after putting my bronzer on and a bit of highlight, and you know, I took it as far down my neck as I could reasonably go, I don't feel like it's actually that bad, which is great, because I was super worried this morning thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm literally going to a building site today and I did not want to have an orange face at the building site because I've already got bright pink hair, I've got a bright pink skirt on, can you see this, and I'm going to have like high vis on. So, I mean, I'm fucking bright enough as it is, let's face it. But anyway, guys, I will let you know if there's any updates. But if not, I'll just see you at the end of the video. Hello there. So it's a few days later and I have been wearing and testing out the Peach Perfect foundation for like 3 or 4 days now. And I am so pleased to confirm, probably the wrong word to use, but I'm so happy to report that I really love this foundation. I can totally understand why it's had an enormous kind of hype around it, and it is because, in my opinion, it's a really bomb diggity to the bomb to the diggity to the bomb to the bomb to the bomb to the diggity to the bomb diggity. It's a brilliant foundation. As a person with oily skin, I always kind of struggle with foundations that end up going kind of patchy as the day goes on. Because as soon as your kind of oils start to kind of come through, I think a lot of foundations just kind of break apart and then you end up with that kind of patchiness. Whereas with this foundation, I just feel like the best thing about it is the fact that it's super long lasting. I've had it on for about 6 hours so far today. It's been a boiling hot day today. I've been in the garden, we've been out shopping, I've been rolling around with the boys, and I just feel like my face is looking relatively good. Also, when I've been at work, it's been really warm in the office. We're in the middle of a big office move at the moment, so I've been like running about like a crazy thing, lifting boxes, sweating my sassy little ass off, and my foundation has just stayed pretty flawless. I hate using the word flawless in the context of myself because it sounds so pretentious, but I'm just trying to get across to you like how good this foundation lasts. Like, it just lasts better than probably any foundation that I've ever tried in my life. I feel like you get a beautiful kind of medium coverage with this foundation. As I said as well in the first impression, it's definitely not one of those kind of flat, lifeless mattes, which I think can look very unnatural and very cakey. This one has more of like a natural kind of satiny kind of finish to it. The only thing that I was like quite disappointed in with the foundation was the shade, and that's not really the foundation's fault, that's kind of my fault. But as I said in the first impression, and I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but the shade Vanilla definitely is a lot deeper and a lot warmer, kind of undertoned than a lot of other vanilla foundations that I've tried from other brands. And I know that it was probably silly just to assume that I was vanilla. If you want to buy this foundation, the one thing that I really want to get across to you is make sure that you do a bit of research on the different shades, because they do seem to run a lot warmer and darker than you would expect. And a few people have said that to me now since I've tried these foundations. So I would definitely say maybe go a shade lighter than you think you might need. It does oxidize a little bit as well, so I think you'd be in like a safe zone if you just went a little bit lighter. But all that being said, it's an amazing foundation. It is definitely more expensive than the types of foundations that I usually kind of buy, but I can kind of see why, and I definitely think it's worth the extra money. For me, as someone that has oily skin, I just love having a foundation that I can just reach for, and I just know she's going to last all day. She's not going to let me down. She's going to be hanging on in there and not melting off down my face. You know, it's an important thing because, you know, when you've got a busy life, the last thing you want to be worrying about is, you know, do I have fecking foundation like dripping off my face? Just to mention, my favourite way of applying this foundation is definitely by just using my fingers to just kind of, you know, slap it on there, and then I just use a sponge and I just kind of, you know, finesse it. I feel like if I just go straight in with a sponge, the sponge can kind of like soak up quite a lot of the product, and you don't really get as full cover. Well, it's not full coverage, but you don't get as good a coverage. So I do enjoy kind of just using my fingers. I know a lot of people seem to be kind of against using fingers, but for me, I find that that's definitely the best way of getting the coverage that I like. This feels super comfortable on the face. It's not one of those foundations that feels heavy or like oily or anything. It's just my perfect foundation. I'm so happy that I've tried it. I would definitely 100% recommend it, especially if you've got oily skin. Unfortunately, because I don't have dry skin, I can't really say like how I feel it would perform on dry skin, but I would really appreciate it if you've got dry skin and you've tried this foundation, if you'd be able to just leave a little bit of like a comment in the comments downstairs and just let everybody know what you thought of it. Or the like slight kind of issue that I have with this, I do feel like it potentially makes my skin feel like a little bit dry. I've just noticed the last few days since I've been using this, my skin has felt just a little bit drier than usual. And I don't know if that's like the foundation or the heat, but that's my only like criticism. And the smell, I don't like the smell. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate you coming on this little, I feel like I'm saying journey in every single video recently, and I just had like a rant about how I just don't like the word journey. But yeah, I hope the video was somewhat useful to you. If you were thinking of buying the foundation, I would like wholeheartedly recommend it to you. Let me know in the comments downstairs as well if you've tried it. What did you think? If there's anything that I've missed out, please feel free to ask me in the comments, and I will kind of get back to you as soon as I can. I always feel like really overwhelmed like when I do these conclusions, and I know I'm being so overly dramatic right now, but I feel so overwhelmed because I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to make sure that I get everything out that I've been thinking, and I probably just forget all the important points. So please just let me know if I did miss anything. But I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video and spend a bit of time here today. I hope you're having a brilliant day today, and I will see you again in the next video.